Hey everybody, I think it's live. I'm setting it up though still. So hope everybody's having a good Monday and had a great Easter. Give us a second to get this all squared away. There we go. All right, yay, we are live and we got some watchers already. But you guys, thanks so much for hopping on today. Hey Angie, hey Tanya. We are really excited about this topic. It's actually one that Amy and I have been talking about for quite some time now as a topic that we wanted to bring you guys here in this group in particular. And for me, I think it's one of the reasons that I have had a lot of success in this business because I was just bold enough or just stupid enough, whatever you guys want to say, to go after people in life that are already super, super successful, what we call A players. So I'm going to kind of go over what an A player is, in my opinion. In my opinion, Amy is an A player. She was an A player. She still is an A player. She was an A player that I brought into this business. And we're going to talk to you guys a little bit about that tonight, how to recruit these people into the business, who they are, how to find them, how to recognize them, and ways and specific ways to talk to them, specific ways to get onto their level and to just message with them, and ways to open up that conversation with success though, because you can really make or break that whole conversation by just the words that you use. It's so funny just how a simple tweak in your approach changes absolutely everything. So here we go, recruiting A players. And I also want to say that we got this inspiration from Bob Heilig, so I want to give credit where credit is due. But first of all, what are A players? To me, an A player is somebody that is a leader, somebody that is very, very successful in business. It's probably somebody that's a dream teamer for you, a chicken lister, someone that is high performing or has a high level of success in whatever they're doing. So I don't want you guys sitting here envisioning this person to only be somebody that's a briefcase carrying, something along those lines. They don't have to be going into an office every day, but they have to have an entrepreneurial mindset. They have to be a high performing person that's ready to that is taking charge in their own industry, right? So a lot of times we actively avoid those people, and we're going to share tonight why that is such a big mistake. And so we're also going to share with you guys some language and some strategies on how to attract them to you as well. Even if you're not a quote unquote A player yourself, because by definition of the word, that was not me when I started Plexus. I was a stay-at-home mom, but I had a small business. I was an entrepreneur online. So I already had that kind of mindset in that process. And we're going to teach you how to seek those people out, even the ones that aren't quite as obvious that they're A players, right? Yeah. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit right now about why we want them in our business, okay? So generally speaking, when we all start out, and I know you guys did this too, I know Amy did it, and it's not a bad thing, right? This isn't a bad deal. But when we first start out in network marketing, when we first start out with Plexus, our just knee-jerk reaction is to go and to look for the people that absolutely need this business, that are desperate for this business, desperate for this opportunity. We're not saying to not go after those people. We're not saying to not recruit those people, to not prospect those people, and to not try and attract those people in and to not bring them into your business. That's not what this video is about. What this video is about is taking it to the next level, taking your team to the next level and attracting the next level of people. And here's the key word, also. So this isn't at the neglect of all the other people in your audience. So I want to make that clear before we even, get started. But those type of people that are struggling financially, that are really in need of this business, that's who we tend to gravitate towards first, because we want to help them. We're helpers by nature. But tonight, I really want you guys to kind of expand your way of thinking and expand your recruiting and shift your thinking to the people that are high performers. And the reason why these people you want to recruit recruiters. You want to recruit people that are exponentially going to expand your business. You want to recruit people that you don't have to hold their hand, that they already get it. You want to recruit people that are entrepreneurs by nature and understand residual income. People that you don't have to constantly motivate and teach all the intricacies of business and to drag them along, and help them do that. You want people that catch your vision right away and run with it, and that already have that powerful work ethic and already see value in working hard and getting more out of working really hard and getting more out of life and not having to necessarily work for somebody else, somebody that gets the value of working for yourself, right? So Amy's going to talk to us a little bit about how to do this.
Yeah, so I want you guys, when we're thinking about this, I want you to think about, sorry, I started losing my voice all of a sudden. Perfect timing for this call. But I want you to think about the most successful people you know. These are the ones probably that you're afraid to talk to about Plexus. These are the ones we're talking about. And we're actually going to show you some language here in just a second that honestly makes it so easy. I know when I first saw this language, I was like, oh my goodness, like it's just elevating our language. Yeah. And speaking in terms they understand, because these A players, they have the ability to move people into action. They are the leaders that we look for. I can't even tell you how many times we've been in group messages, group threads, Zoom calls like this. And what are we all talking about? We all want business builders. Well, guess what, guys? We're not going to get these A player business builders if we're only talking about a side gig or working from home on our phones. That's not appealing to an A player. An A player wants a business. They want something that is professional. So this is what we're going to talk about tonight. And there are some key areas of focus for messaging and positioning yourself with these A players. So I'm going to share my screen. I actually have a couple of slides, so you guys don't have to just look at me all night here. Let's see if this works. There it is. So, and I don't think I can actually do a slide view. We can try here. I think that covers all of us up. Can you guys see that? Still looks the same?
Yeah, we can see it. It still looks the same.
Okay, still looks the same. So when you're talking to an A player about your opportunity, you're basically giving them a better vehicle for their time and their talent, right? You are giving them a better option, because listen, people every day climb the corporate ladder. And then when they get to the very top of that corporate ladder, they realize it's leaning on a building that they don't even want to be in. They realize they did all of this and that's not what they want to do for the next 20, 30, 40 years. All right. So what you're going to do is you are going to teach them or show them an opportunity to help them. And this is really important. That's why we made a slide. You want to help them increase their income without sacrificing their lifestyle. Okay. This is going to resonate with those A players. A players do not have time to build something from scratch, right? Because they already are successful. They don't have time to quit that while they build this up. So what you're going to do when you position your opportunity, you're going to show them how they can increase their income and they don't have to sacrifice their current lifestyle, right? The other thing about A players, though, when you're thinking of talking to them and reaching out, we have to appeal to their need to matter in this world. And normally A players, this means more to them than most employees. Excuse me. Your A players, they really do have a desire to make a difference in this world and to leave a legacy. So when talking to an A player, this is where you want to share your why. Remember back when we started this group, we talked about your impact goal. This is where it comes in. This is where you ask them, what legacy do you want to leave? Because this business can do that for you. Excuse me, guys. Sorry.
It's okay, Amy. We understand.
And I can't be on my floor still. Hot mess tonight. Now, I want to give you kind of a warning. One objection that you're going to get, and you're probably going to get this often, is time, because they don't have a lot of time, right? So here's how you position yourself around that. And we're going to get into actual messaging. This is all what I want you to be thinking about when you think of these A players. You want to position yourself as a consultant or an expert, because that's the language and those are the methods that A players are used to, right? Think about it. An A player doesn't do their own taxes, right? They have a CPA. So if they have a tax question or they have to do their taxes, they go to their CPA. You are going to position yourself as that consultant for them. So you're going to ask them to look at you in that same way. You're going to ask them that, or tell them that you're going to partner with them as they do a consultant. And all you want to do is leverage their network and their influence and then share it with people. That's it. And then you are going to help them build that business, right? They're going to lean on you. We have got the tools. We have got the turnkey business. So you want to position yourself as that consultant, just like you would, because if you present the business to them on their own and tell an A player, hey, it's great, you can work it in the nooks and crannies, they don't have nooks and crannies. They don't have time for that. They are not going to respond to that, right? So you're going to tell them that you're going to do the heavy lifting. You just, in the beginning, you just want to leverage their knowledge, their people power, and their influence, okay? Because that's going to help them build a business that then will eventually give them the time back that they desire, right? So let's talk about some language and scripts, because I think when it comes to A players, we get nervous and we vomit, or we're afraid and then we never do it. So the first thing I want to say, guys, is you just have to be confident. You don't have to be a diamond to recruit an A player. You just have to have confidence in yourself. You don't have to have the perfect thing to say. You're going to stumble. Just like Sara said, she started recruiting A players right out of the gate. She certainly didn't have the knowledge or the income that she does now when she started recruiting 4 years ago, but you just want to do it, right? So when we look at this language, I don't want you guys to get too hung up on it word for word, okay? So the first thing we want to do is the opinion approach. And this is super important with A players. You may have used this before for some fence sitters or maybe some dream teamers, but the opinion approach is huge, because listen, if you ask an A player if they're interested, they're going to tell you no. Of course, they're not interested. They're already successful and they don't have time, right? So you're not going to ask them if they're interested. You're going to ask them for their opinion. All right. So again, don't get caught up on every word. You want to tailor it for you. And it's going to be a back and forth conversation. So when you see this slide for the opinion approach, you're not going to send this all in one message. Okay. You're going to engage in a conversation. And do not recruit an A player via text. Don't do it. Sara Taylor will tell you, she's told me since I started, get on the phone. Well, that has never been more important than with A players, because they're more likely to follow through with you if you can touch base with them live and they're busy, right? If you just send them a video and say, hey, Amy, can you check this out? They are not going to respond to that. They are too busy. Also, if it's important to you, you will get on the phone and they will see that. I want to tell a story really quickly. I actually was recruited, I can't remember if it was January, February, by another network marketing company, which we all should be when you're successful, right? That's what happens. But had they made it about me and made it personal and said, hey, I really value your opinion. Can you look at this and let me know what you think? I probably would have looked at it just out of respect for them, but I didn't. It was like they just said, hey, check this out. It's great. Well, I don't have time for that, right? I don't have time for that. It's the same with A players. So you want to approach them and say, hey, Sara, so what's your schedule like this week? Because I would love to talk to you. I could really use your help with something. And then you wait for her to respond. Okay. And when she responds and says, well, my week is really busy, you say, well, could we set up a time to talk? and you wait for them to respond. And you wait until you get that time. And then you want to say, well, I have something I want to share with you. All right. I'd like to get your opinion on this business that I've started, on this project that I'm working on this thing that I'm looking into, because I need someone with your expertise to give me honest feedback. I really value your opinion, your expertise. All right. So that's kind of the opinion approach that you want to take with A players. And guys, this is golden, because A players love to give their opinions on things. All right. So this works like magic, but you have to do it the right way. And you have to do it to set up a phone call. A players do not message back and forth on Facebook. They do not. They don't have time for that. You have to get them on the phone. Okay.
And one more thing about the phone is that it shows them that you value your time enough that you're getting on the phone with them, but you're giving your time too. So it's kind of a give and take right there. Like, your time is just as valuable as theirs. Because remember, you're a consultant, you're an expert in all things Plexus, and your time is valuable too. And you are showing enough importance to them that you're spending your valuable time talking to them. And it's far more personal. It's far more professional than recruiting on Messenger. Just so many things. The phone is where it's at for sure.
Yes, exactly. And I think even now we get so caught up in jumping anytime a potential messages us right away that we forget that, you know what, guys, it's okay to not reply, and show them that we are busy. We have other things to do because tons of people want to join our team. So it's really good to not always jump and to schedule these types of things. So you want to set up a time for a short call. And again, this is just some language you can use, but you want to tweak it for yourself. But you could say, look, let's set up a time for a short call so I can give you a better understanding of exactly what I'm looking for, and see if you, or if you know anyone who comes to mind. It's a very lucrative opportunity for the right person, right? And that's it. And then you wait for them to respond, okay? Now, here's the thing. They're going to ask you what it is, right? They're going to ask you, what is it? They're probably going to ask you that before you even get on the phone call. You want to give them a simple response, okay? You don't even necessarily want to say, oh, it's Plexus, right? Here's what you're going to do. Here's what we have been doing. Oh, it's Plexus. We're a health and wellness company out of Arizona. Yeah, it's network marketing, right? No. The whole thing with A players that Sara talked about in the beginning is you have to elevate your language, and you have to elevate this position that you want them for. Because if you make this seem too easy, guys, if we make it seem like it's something we do from our phone in the nooks and crannies, A players will not be interested in it, because A players know that if it's too easy, then it's actually too good to be true. So you want to say, hey, I'm working with a $600 million wellness company, and I'm looking for someone to help me build, train, and develop sales organizations on a local, regional, national, and even international level. And I know right now some of you guys are thinking, whoa, like that is not what I do. I work from my phone in the nooks and crannies. But guys, that is what you do. This is exactly what we do every single day. We work for this huge multi-million-dollar company. We are building, training, and leading a sales organization. I don't care if you have 3 people on your sales team or you have 12,000 people on your sales team. Your business is a local, regional, national, and international sales job, right? It's a sales business.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, jump in.
And you have to look at the opportunity there. They're wanting to see the opportunity. They're wanting to see where their specific skill set fits into this, and where they can leverage what they love to do about their job as well. And so that when that's going to draw them out, when they see, oh, I get to be a leader, I get to build up others, I get to train others, I get to develop a huge sales organization, no matter where you're at in your business, you can talk to them about that, because that's truly the opportunity that we have here.
Yes. And if you've never thought about this, which I certainly haven't thought of this type of language even when I've talked to A players, that's why we're not recruiting those high level players, right? So like I said before, if we only talk about a side gig, we will never recruit them. We must get them to see the bigger picture of what it is. So all we're doing is elevating that language. And think about it, guys. Do we want people who are just going to sell products? We don't. I mean, that's great. But we're all looking for that business builder that will help us build an empire, right? We're all looking for that person that is so powerful and has that influence and that wherewithal and gets it, that will actually take us to the next level. Okay. So we've just never called it or talked about it like we want to receive it. So that's what we're talking about here tonight. I see a lot of comments while you were talking. People are loving this language. We will definitely share it so you guys can have it, so you can.
And you guys can take pictures too, like take pictures with your phone, screenshots with your phone, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So where am I at? Sorry, here we go. So again, that's what Sara was saying. You've got to get the A players to see the big picture and the potential of what you're offering them. Okay. And then it's a back and forth, right? So you can talk to them about what you're looking for. Here's that big picture we were saying, guys. And if you know the person and maybe you've already talked about what they love about their job or what's missing from their job, you can talk about this, right? You can talk about, I'm looking for somebody with a management background to help me build and train this organization. And I'm telling you, coming from corporate America, that language right there, management background, looking to build and train an organization, that's huge. And I remember when I first saw this training, I was like, boom, why did I quit using all of this language just because I started a network marketing company? This is the language we should be using when we're talking about developing those types of A players. So,
and especially when we're talking to the people on LinkedIn, like we were talking about in Melissa Bonesteel's live that she did on this page just the other day, the people that we're recruiting off of LinkedIn, I mean, this is just precisely the type of approach that you'd want to take, because most of those people that are on there are A players. That's where you find them. But then you also find them in life too, which we'll talk about as well. Amy, did you want to finish up this slide? Because you actually are doing my whole entire part. So.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So this is easy for me. This is a great call for me.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, I will finish this up and you want to take it through the sorting. Sorry, Sara. So, and you're right. What you're doing though, guys, is you are just speaking their language. That's really all it is, right? Just like when you have someone who's new to gut health, we don't go all into the science of the microbiome. We just keep it simple and use the language. That's what we're doing here. Now, if they say something like, is this just another one of those MLMs, whatever, is this another network marketing company? You can say, look, but I'm not looking for someone to just sell products to their friends and family. I want someone who understands the big picture of what residual income is and what's possible on getting that residual income on everything we help create in an international business model, right? Somebody, and this is where you want to appeal to maybe what they're looking for. You can say someone who knows what they're worth, not just looking for a paycheck, someone who's looking for the right vehicle to give them that time freedom while still maintaining their lifestyle and having that successful career. And like the slide says, you can use this anytime. You can use this for anyone who objects to a network marketing company, but it's great language for those A players. So let me stop the share.
Oh, you can just keep, oh, okay.
Oh, sorry. Was I going to quit stealing Sarah's part?
No problem. Yeah, she went through like 90% of my part. So my job is easy.
Well, clearly I did not read the message correctly when we split it up.
Okay, let me share my screen now.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, here we go. Okay, so let me pull this up. Sorry. We'll get to it here in a second, promise. Okay, here we go. So one of the things that you want to do when you're talking with these A players, I keep calling them players, which isn't probably the best verbiage to be using, but you're going to want to kind of like see if they're open to this. You want to ask them kind of these test questions a little bit, you know, and kind of see, you know, if they're into something, or would they be open to something that was a little bit more entrepreneurial in nature, if the income potential was high enough. And that's the key thing, guys. The income potential, is it high enough for them? And so having that conversation and being willing to talk to them and be pretty bold about the fact that this is an entrepreneurial style of position. The biggest key it was at the beginning of this call when we were talking about the different things that these key players and A players look at, is that they are looking to leverage their time. They want more out of life. They want more freedom. And so they're going to understand, you're going to be talking in their terms when you're talking to them about that entrepreneurial style of job and that opportunity. They understand the value of not being in that employee, that employee and job style of position. So working for somebody else. Another one is if you could if I could show you something that had a bigger upside than what you're currently doing right now, and you could be doing it without the risk of leaving your current job or business, would you be interested in learning more? After we get out of this slide, I'm going to talk about some of the key differentiating factors and some of the key similarities that A players have to the rest of the people in your network. And this is a big one, y'all. Job security is not there anymore in America. Every single corporate position that you're in, especially if you're a high-powered individual, you're expendable. They have meetings about budget cuts. They have meetings about your salary. They have meetings about, are you worth what they're currently paying you? And so they will understand these terms. They will understand this opportunity to be working for themselves and to have that upside and to have that freedom and to never be at risk again for another layoff, another budget cut, another, acquisition, a merger. So, and then the last one is there anything that comes to mind that has sales, anyone that comes to mind that has sales or management background that may not be exactly where they want to be financially, that may be able to help me with this project that I'm working on now? You guys, referrals are where it's at. These people have enormous networks. And when you can get them to start thinking about who in their network would be amazing at this, that's exactly where you want to be going with this. You want them thinking, oh my gosh, okay, I know Amy Welch. She's an author. She's an executive. She has a huge social network. She loves talking to people. She's extremely outgoing. She'd be amazing at this. You want them in that train of thought, thinking about who in their network would also be open to this entrepreneurial opportunity, right? This is perfect for that. So, and if they express any interest from there, this is where, you definitely want to leverage those third-party tools, and you'd want to send them more information so that they can look it over. And you have to lock them down and say, hey, what's the best email for you? And then you guys, this is the key, and it's not on the slide, but this is the biggest single thing that you can do. These third-party tools are exceptional for them because they realize that they can do this too without having to know all the things about Plexus, right? We talk about these third-party tools all the time, but then once you say, hey, can I have your email so I can send this information to you so you can look over, you'll know by this point in the conversation which third-party tools you want to send them. And then you set a follow-up time. You say, if I send you this tool for you to look over today, would you be able to look over it so we can have another follow-up conversation tomorrow? That's how you lead it through the process. That's how you go through this. And these third-party tools, it's professional. People expect this in this level. They expect to have something that they can go look over. They expect to have additional information. They expect to be able to go home and research and to look at that. This isn't going to be a situation where you call them up and you have that first conversation and they sign with you right over the phone. That's just not how this is going to work, right? I don't even know how many conversations with Amy when I signed her up.
Yeah.
It was a lot of conversations, but it was a lot of phone conversations, and it was a lot of this. And it wasn't even a process that I necessarily had in place in my head. It just was what felt right at the time. And this is exactly the process I led through with her. And you guys, I had to throw this in there too. You guys, they are people. They are people just like you and me. These people just have a higher level of understanding and a higher network and a higher level of just, you know, they've had a certain level of success, and that's why you're wanting to bring them into your business. But they are just like you and me. They're moms, they're dads. They want their time freedom. They want their financial freedom, all of that. And this is another thing that's so, so, so key. If they have a huge level of interest after you've sent them that third-party tool, get them in a discussion with a high level upline of yours. If you've got a big A player that you're talking to, get them in a three-way chat with the jewel. You know, don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to use that aspect of this too. So I'm going to stop the screen share here. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about I can't see all the comments, so I apologize if you guys are blowing up the comments, but one of the things that I wanted to talk to guys a little bit about is a lot of times we put these people in a box and we either compare them to other people in our network. We have these preconceived notions about them. And one of the things I wanted to say is some of the differentiating factors that separate these type of people from the rest of your network. And one of the biggest things is, and this may be counterintuitive to you, but they are generally less skeptical of something like this. They're generally somebody that they understand residual income. They understand network marketing. They get it. They just may not have seen network marketing done right. And that's the big key with Plexus. That's the big differentiator. They also may not have seen network marketing with an excellent compensation plan. So they may have seen all of those companies that have all that inventory and all those fees and all those gotchas in their comp plan, right? So they are less skeptical. They will just ask for information, right, to help them make their decision. What I have found, you guys, is the most negative and the most skeptical people in my network are actually the most broke people. They have,
it's true.
They are unwilling and they're just unopen to, they're not willing to open their mind or their eyes to new opportunities, different ways of doing things. These A players, they get it. They understand the power of a plan B. They understand the power of margin in their finances. So they're never going to say something like, it looks too good to be true. That's not in their vocabulary. What they're going to want to know is the facts to back it up. They're going to want to look through that compensation plan, those types of things. These people are also risk takers. They're entrepreneurs. They are people that are willing to put themselves out there, and they also know the value of working for themselves. And so they're willing to bet on themselves, right? And so that's a huge thing. And they don't operate excuse me, they don't operate in that employee mindset. They operate in that entrepreneurial mindset. Sorry, guys. And they understand that the limitations of traditional business can hold them back. So those are really big things. That risk-taking mindset is big, because when they are willing to bet on themselves, they're going to go all in. They're going to work really, really hard. They're also self-motivated. They are not going to need somebody to push and prod. They're going to need somebody to educate, train, and back them up, but they're going to be willing to do the work themselves. And one of the biggest things too, and I know probably a lot of you guys are sitting here thinking this, do I have to be already successful to be able to recruit one of these people? That is absolutely not true. They are going to be attracted to the potential and to the opportunity and to what is in it for them and the future for them. They're going to be attracted to that aspect of this, as opposed to what you have done in your business. That's not the selling point here. The selling point here is the opportunity for them, not what you have done. So, sorry, keep going. So one of the things that you can do here, explain it out to them, build that. We're internationally expanding. Jot down some selling points for Plexus, for the opportunity, for the future growth of our company. And I have put that out there in multiple places all over. But one of the biggest things, you guys, we are still in the pioneer phase of this business. We are still pioneers in Plexus, and we are just scratching the surface of international expansion. And that is our game plan from here on out. So that right there is huge. They leverage an international market that is exponential expansion for them. Not only that, we're not even that well known in the United States. So there's tons and tons and tons of opportunity there. Not only that, we have a product plan going out for the next 10 years with both weight loss and gut health as the main focuses. Huge opportunity from that type of industry. So one of the key things there when you're getting into this point of the conversation with them is that you want to leverage your upline. Get a diamond in there, get a jewel in there, get somebody in there. You guys have plenty that are available in just in our team, right? We've had a lot of success on this team, and get those people in because they're going to be able to talk to them on their level right then. But you do not have to have $1,000 paycheck, a $10,000 paycheck, a $100,000 paycheck per month to be able to sell these people. I promise you that. Not only that, so one of the other differentiators is that they have influence in their network. When they say go, people are going to jump on with them. They have built that up. They have built up their business acumen and people follow them. They're also very high performers in their industry. And high performers, like I was talking about earlier, are very, very subject to layoffs and a higher risk than when they're in the traditional job setting. They have basically a target on their back that as soon as they kind of outperform their job, they're getting overpaid, that sort of thing happened to my dad. This exact same thing happened to him. He got pushed out of his job. I know Amy for a fact has been in meetings before where they've been talking about her pay as if she wasn't even in the room. I was let go from a job as well for those exact same reasons. I basically overperformed myself out of the job. So those types of things happen in those traditional business settings. And you've got to get yourself into the mindset that you can and are worthy of talking to these people because you're offering them an enormous opportunity. So some of the similarities that you guys might not realize that you have or that they have with everybody else in their network, financial issues. Let me tell you how many people that are millionaires that are living beyond their means. I'm telling you what, the minute that your paycheck starts to go up, so does your standard of living. So it's like the same margin, same level of broke, but they're making, $500,000 a year, but they've got $600,000 worth of bills. It's that whole, it's their lifestyle goes up at each time, and it just kind of goes like this. So you cannot say in your head, oh, Amy doesn't need this job. Amy doesn't need this financial income. You don't know what's going on behind closed doors for them. Not only that, retirement. Most people do not have a retirement fund, and they understand this type of business can provide residual income for years and years and years and years. So that's another huge, huge, huge selling point. So the other thing that's very, very similar is they're actually more likely to be fired or downsized. I've said that a couple times. So that's a huge issue as well. So job stability in network marketing, huge. That's a huge selling point. And a lot of people don't realize just how stable the network marketing industry is. It is actually recession proof. And my husband can speak a lot more to that, the financial advisor. But it's one of those industries that, when we're going through a recession, it actually goes up. And so and they will understand that wording. They will understand this as well. So the biggest thing too is they, just like all of us, struggle with fulfillment from their job. They struggle with passion. They struggle with purpose. And so that's another thing that you guys can really, really talk to them about within Plexus, that passion, that purpose, what's really important in life, your why, the why story that we've been talking about is huge. So I'm going to kick it back over to Amy to talk about the last couple topics, and then I will give you guys your homework.
Yeah, so one thing I want to touch on, because I have monitored some of the comments, and I think the theme in talking to A players, we're getting in our own way, guys. It's all in your head. They are not better than you. You do not have to be a diamond to talk about this opportunity. I think those are the two biggest stumbling blocks. And I saw a couple people say, they don't even know what to say on the phone. What you'd say about this opportunity in a text or a voice message is no different than what you'd say on the phone. They're still people. Sara said that earlier. So one of the things you want to watch out for, guys, is do not fall in love with the potential of an A player. All right. Just like anyone else, you want to let the process work for you, and you want to detach from the outcome, because even with A players, you're still going to have, remember before early on, we talked about the apples, the red apples, the green apples, and the rotten apples, right? You want to let the rotten apples roll off your back. And if you have a red apple that's ready to go, you want to get them in a three-way with your upline. Okay. So detach from the outcome. Just because they're successful and just because they're in a job where they make a lot of money, you should not be intimidated by them. So that's one thing you want to look out for. The other thing, though, if they do join, there is a chance they may not be coachable, because these are high-powered folks. They're not used to maybe taking direction, right? And if that's the case, then it is what it is, okay? But on the flip side, they might be coachable because this is completely new to them, but it's still up to them to do the work. Remember, you can be that consultant for them like we talked about in the beginning. You can leverage their network, and you can make it easy for them, like the CPA, like the consultant. But if you can show an A player success in the beginning, then you have got them probably for life. They will be way more committed. So silver, fast start gold, all of those things, even just, 500 PV, a great paycheck, they will be more committed in the long run. The other thing though, guys, and this goes with all the stuff we've been talking about in this 30-day group, for them to follow you, they must respect you, right? So you have to have confidence in your approach. You can't be wishy-washy. You have to be confident. Even if you have to fake it, just step up and do it. But also, if you're going to start taking this approach and reaching out to A players, you're going to want to look at your social media feed. You don't want to have all of these crazy, spammy, salesy Plexus graphics, right? Or all of these things that we say not to do anyway. You certainly don't want to have those on there when you start reaching out to those A players. So they are going to see that. So those are kind of the couple of things just to watch out for if you are going to reach out to them. And I think Sara has some homework, so we're all going to start reaching out to them, right?
I do. I have some homework, but before I get to that, I just wanted to mention one more thing, is that I cannot stress enough not to put your definition of an A player in this little box of a higher powered executive carrying a briefcase and commuting into work. These can be entrepreneurs owning small businesses. It's a mindset. This A player is a mindset. It's influence. It's hard work. It's grit. And it's a determined success. They are determined to succeed. So somebody that has a online store and they're hustling to just bring in extra income for their family, but they're a stay-at-home mom at the same time, in my book, that's an A player, guys. So just expand your mind to think of it like that. But absolutely, you want those A players that are the executives, that are the authors, that are the Amy Welches of, all of this, that fit that, definition to a T, right? But just think of it from those terms, okay? So your homework today, we're running it out right now. I know we've been a little bit long tonight, but I want you guys to write down a list of your chicken list A players. I want you to make that list, and I want you to write down as many names as you can think of in your network that you've been too scared to reach out, or that you've written off because you didn't think that they would be interested in Plexus, that you've been, just any A player that and use that Frank's list, right? So jog your memory for these people by thinking of all your close friends, all your relatives, all your acquaintances, your neighbors, your, Kids Connection, and service organizations or church or that type of thing. So jog through your network and think about that. Look through your Facebook friends list, figure out who these people are, hop on your LinkedIn, think about your old coworkers, get all those names down on a list. And then you're going to start reaching out to them using exactly what we talked about in this call. So you're going to use exactly what we said, the type of verbiage, the type of ways that we're telling you to reach out. And you're going to, through this, you guys are going to drop your fear. Just this call alone right here could be the thing that changes the rest of your business going forward. Just this simple switch in your mindset, the simple switch in your confidence, in your boldness, it's going to be the turning point in your business. And you're going to look back on this call and be like, you know what? For some of you, this is going to be the call that changed everything. So you've got to do it. Amy, did you have anything else to add?
I want to give one word of caution there when they're working on their list. Don't work on your list forever. You have to eventually reach out to people. Don't get caught up working on your list because in your head you think you need to come up with the perfect thing to say. You are going to stumble. You are going to say the wrong thing. You are not going to say what you wanted to. But here's the thing, guys. They have no preconceived notions about what you're going to say. So to them, they don't know that you left something out. They don't know that you didn't follow the script we put up on the screen, right? So you just have to be confident and approaching them. That's it. But I just wanted to caution because I know oftentimes people get caught up in the list and they never move it into activity because they're waiting for the perfect thing to say, and that never comes. Absolutely. Because, you know, A players, they'll eventually be on someone's team.
And you just want it to be yours.
Yep.
All right. That's all we got for you guys tonight. We'll hop on and look through all the comments. I'm so sorry that we weren't able to catch up with them throughout this call, but thank you guys. Happy Monday, happy Easter, belated, and happy April. Are you guys ready to hit the ground running in April? Yeah. I know for me, this is going to be an enormous month with the big reveal coming up. Mm-hmm. Game changer kind of month. So yay, excited for all of you guys. I'll see you guys soon. Bye. Yeah.